You don't grow when it's easy. You don't build muscle just by showing up. You grow when it's painful. You grow when you want to give up, but you don't. The iron doesn't lie. It humbles you. It exposes your weakness, then dares you to come back stronger. Every rep that burns, every drop of sweat, every time your body shakes and screams to stop. That's when the real growth begins. Not when you're coasting. Not when it's convenient. You want to be great, then struggle for it, earn it, suffer for it. Push yourself until your mind says, no. And your heart says, keep go ing. Because pain is the currency of growth. Sacrifice is the price of transformation. There are no shortcuts in this game. There are no cheats. Only the weight and the will to rise. Every rep with pain builds something in you that can't be measured. Not just muscle, but discipline, character, power. And if you're willing to suffer now, you'll shine later. So stop searching for comfort. Start chasing struggle. Because Tehat is where you grow. In the fire, in the pressure, in the pain. You grow when you struggle. So struggle hard. Struggle proud. You don't grow when it's easy. That's the truth most people run from. They want results without pain. They want transformation without sacrifice. They want the body, the strength, the respect. But they don't want the fight that builds it. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth lies where it hurts. It lives in the early mornings when your body aches, in the last set when your arms are shaking, in that deep silence where nobody's watching. And it's just you, the iron, and the decision to not quit. The easy moments teach you nothing. Comfort keeps you the same. It's the pain that changes you. It's the resistance that forces you to evolve. Your muscles grow when they're torn. Your mindset sharpens when it's tested. Your will is forged when everything in you wants to stop. And you take one more rep. So if it's easy, you're not growing. If it's light, you're not pushing. If it's comfortable, you're not changing. Don't chase easy. Chase the struggle. Because that's where real growth begins. You don't build muscle by lifting what's easy. You build it when the weight feels impossible. You build it when your arms tremble, when your chest burns, when your body begs for rest, but your mind commands one more rep. That's resistance. That's pain. And that's exactly what creates strength, both physical and mental. Pain isn't the enemy in the gym, it's the process. Every time you push into the discomfort, you send a message to your body: adapt. Get stronger. Grow. And your body listens. But only if you're consistent. Only if you keep showing up, especially when it's hard, especially when it hurts. There is no growth in light work. You might break a sweat, you might feel pumped. But real, lasting strength comes from the sessions that nearly break you. You have to lean into the pain. You have to learn to love the fight. Because the pain is feedback. It tells you you're pushing past your limit. And that's where the next level begins. You're not just building your body. You're building discipline. You're building grit. You're training your mind to say yes when everything inside is screaming, stop. Muscle doesn't grow by accident. And mental toughness doesn't show up out of nowhere. You earn it. One brutal workout at a time. So embrace the resistance. Welcome the pain. That's your teacher. That's your path. That's your transformation in progress. Step into the gym and you step into truth. Because the gym doesn't lie. The weights don't care about your ego. They don't care how loud you talk or how confident you pretend to be. They will expose you. Completely, you might walk in thinking you're strong. But once that bar hits your chest, once your legs buckle under the squat, once your grip slips on that last deadlift, you realize something: you're not as strong as you thought. And that's the gift. The gym strips away your illusions. It shows you exactly where you're weak, where your body lags, where your discipline cracks, where your mind gives in. But it doesn't do this to humiliate you. It does it to give you a choice. Do you walk away or do you fight back? Because now you've seen your limit and now you get to push it. That's what makes this place sacred. Not the mirrors, not the music, not the machines, but the battle. The silent personal war between who you are now and who you're trying to become. You learn your flaws here. But more than that, you learn that you can overcome them. You can fix your form. You can strengthen your weak points. You can show up tomorrow better than you were today. The gym humbles you, but it also empowers you. Because once you know where you're broken, you can start building something unbreakable. And when the iron reveals your weakness, don't back down, smile. Because now you know exactly where to grow. Everybody wants the body. Everybody wants the progress. But nobody wants the pain. They look for shortcuts, quick routines, fast results, magic diets. They want to skip the suffering and still stand on the podium. But this isn't a game you cheat your way through. Progress isn't handed out. It's earned. In sweat, in soreness, in silence. There is no shortcut for consistency. No hack for hard work. No cheat code for discipline. You want strength. You have to suffer for it. You have to wake up sore and still show up. You have to lift when your body says rest. You have to eat clean when your cravings scream otherwise. That's not a punishment. That's the cost. And if you're not willing to pay it, don't expect results. The people who win in this game aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who show up day after day, even when it sucks. Even when no one's watching. Even when every muscle in their body is begging them to quit. Pain is the toll you pay on the road to greatness. And most people turn around at the first sign of discomfort. That's why they stay the same. That's why they never grow. But the ones who endure, the ones who push through the hurt, they evolve. They transform. Because suffering creates strength that shortcuts never could. This journey doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for sacrifice. It asks for the version of you who's willing to bleed for better. And that version isn't found in comfort. You want real progress? Then embrace the suffering. It's not the obstacle, it's the way. That burning feeling in your muscles. That fire that spreads through your chest, your arms, your legs. That pain is the process. That pain is the path. Every time you pick up the weight and it feels too heavy, every time your hands shake, your breath shortens, your vision blurs, you are standing face to face with a decision: break or become something greater. You see, that pain isn't there to punish you. It's there to push you. It's your body signaling change. Every painful rep, every final push, every time you scream in silence. That's the moment greatness is being carved into you. Most people stop there. They run from pain. They think struggle is a signal to quit. But pain doesn't mean stop. Pain means you're growing. Pain means you're in the zone where most people quit, and you're about to separate yourself. You don't level up from comfort. You don't build anything meaningful doing what's easy. But if you can take that pain, if you can face that burning sensation and keep pressing forward, then rep by rep, day by day, you begin to shape something extraordinary. Because every rep that hurts makes you tougher. Every set that drains you leaves you more capable. You may not feel it instantly. You may not see it in the mirror tonight. But deep down, beyond the soreness and sweat, you're becoming more. Greatness isn't made in a single workout. It's built across thousands of painful moments where you could have quit but didn't. So don't curse the pain, thank it. Because with every painful rep, you're getting one step closer to the strongest, most unstoppable version of you. When you train, you're not just building muscle, you're building something much deeper. Something no mirror can reflect. You're building discipline. You're building character. It starts with showing up. Not just when you feel like it, not just when it's convenient, but every day through soreness, fatigue, distractions, and doubt. That's discipline. That's the part most people never develop. Because lifting weight is easy compared to lifting yourself out of bed on a cold morning. Doing a set is simple next to battling your inner voice that says, take a break, skip today. No one will notice. But you notice. Your future self notices. And every time you ignore that voice and push through, that's how you grow. Not just stronger, but sharper. Not just ripped, but reliable. The gym teaches you that results don't come from emotion. They come from structure. They come from habit. They come from commitment. Even on the days when you don't feel like committing to anything. That structure spills into your life. Suddenly you start showing up in more than just the gym. You become dependable. You become focused. You stop chasing quick highs and start chasing real meaning. Reps build your muscles, but consistency builds your legacy. Because what's the point of looking strong if your character is weak? What's the point of having abs if you can't keep a promise to yourself? Every drop of sweat, every early wake up, every clean meal, every skipped temptation, those are reps for your character. Those are bricks in the foundation of who you're becoming. And with every lift, with every sacrifice, you become more than someone who trains. You become someone who endures. Someone who leads. Someone who doesn't flinch when life throws weight on their shoulders. That's discipline. That's character. And that's what true strength is all about. Most people come to the gym for what they can see. They want bigger arms, wider backs, cut abs. And sure, you'll get those if you grind long enough. But the real transformation, that happens on the inside. Because with every struggle, every missed PR, every failed rep, every moment of fatigue, you're building something no one else can measure: resilience. The kind of resilience that doesn't show in the mirror, but shows in how you live your life. You see, when the weight crushes you and you still come back the next day, that's not just physical toughness. That's a heart that doesn't quit. That's a spirit forged in adversity. The pain in your body eventually fades. But what it leaves behind, that quiet confidence, that unshakable mindset, that refusal to fold when things get hard, that stays. Because the weights are never just about the weights, they are a tool, a battlefield, a mirror. And every time you go to war in that gym, you train more than your muscles. You train your focus. You train your tolerance for discomfort. You train your ability to suffer with purpose. The world outside doesn't care about your biceps. It cares whether you give up when pressure hits. It cares how you respond to loss, rejection, failure. And the strength to stand tall in the middle of that storm. That's built right here. In the struggle. That's what makes this journey so much bigger than fitness. You walk into the gym to change your body. But what you really walk out with is the kind of mental armor that gets you through life when it punches you in the face. That's what the struggle is doing. It's not just breaking you down to build muscle. It's breaking weakness to build resilience. And that kind of strength, that's for life. You say you want to change. You say you want to be stronger, better, built. But the second it gets painful, you hesitate. You start looking for the exit. That's the problem. You can't change and stay comfortable. You can't transform and play it safe. Because pain isn't a side effect of transformation. It is the price. Most people want the result, but not the road. They want the body, but not the suffering. They want to evolve, but not be tested. And that's why they stay stuck. Not because they're weak, but because they keep running from the very thing that makes them strong: pain. Pain is the signal that something is happening. When your legs are shaking during squats, when your lungs are screaming during that last sprint, when your arms feel like lead on the final rep, that's your moment. That's where change begins. Avoid the pain, and you avoid the growth. Skip the struggle, and you skip the reward. Transformation isn't pretty. It's not supposed to be. It's sweaty. It's sore. It's uncomfortable. It demands sacrifice. Your time, your energy, your excuses, your comfort. But what you get in return is worth all of it. You don't just get stronger. You become someone who can't be broken. You don't just build a body. You forge a mindset. Every transformation story has a moment where quitting looked easier, where walking away felt tempting. But the people who made it, they stayed in the pain. They didn't run. They didn't flinch. Because they knew if you avoid pain, you avoid progress. You either suffer in growth now or suffer in regret later. That choice is always yours. So stop running from pain. Start meeting it face to face. Because what hurts today is what transforms you tomorrow. You don't know how strong you are until you hit your limit and go one step further. That's where power lies. Not in the warm-up, not in the reps that come easy. Power is born in that moment when your body says, I can't. And your mind responds, watch me. Limits are illusions. They're lines drawn in your mind by fear, by doubt, by comfort. But those lines are meant to be crossed. That's how real growth happens. When you don't stop where you used to. When you lift what once broke you. When you rise from where others stay down. Power isn't just about weight on a barbell. It's about the ability to suffer with purpose. To keep going after failure. To push through pain not because you have to, but because you refuse to settle. Every time you hit that wall, your legs burning, your vision fading, your breath ragged, you are staring directly at your limit. And in that moment, you have a choice: give in or push through. Most people give in. They think the limit is the end. But the truth is, the limit is just the beginning. The beginning of strength. The beginning of evolution. The beginning of becoming something greater than you were. Because the real power, it's not what you can do when it's easy. It's what you force yourself to do when everything in you is screaming to stop. That's the moment that defines you. That's the rep that counts. That's the battle that makes the beast. Pushing past your limits doesn't just change your body. It rewires your brain. It teaches you that you are capable of far more than you've been told. That you can survive the pressure, that you can grow in the fire. And once you realize that, there's no going back. Because now you know what you're capable of, and that kind of power, it's unstoppable. People treat struggle like it's something to be feared. Something to avoid. Something that means they're failing. But struggle isn't failure. Struggle is the forge. You don't evolve without it. You don't become more by doing less. You rise because of the resistance, not in spite of it. Every champion, every warrior, every legend, they were built through struggle. They didn't wake up extraordinary. They were shaped by rejection, by loss, by pain, by years of unseen effort. Struggle was their classroom. It taught them grit. It taught them patience. It taught them how to rise when others broke. And the same is true in the gym. You step in weak, uncertain, insecure. And day by day, struggle by struggle, you chip away at that version of yourself. You leave behind the person who gave up. You leave behind the doubt, the fear, the comfort. And in its place, you build someone resilient, someone confident, someone hungry. It's the struggle that transforms you. Mentally, physically, spiritually. That's where your edge is carved. That's where your strength is defined. But most people run from it. They want the muscle without the soreness, the results without the sacrifice. But it doesn't work like that. You can't become who you're meant to be without first surviving who you were. And that survival happens in the struggle. So stop avoiding what's hard. Stop resisting resistance. Because if you're uncomfortable, if you're in pain, if you're in the middle of the storm, good. That means you're exactly where you need to be. That means you're evolving. This isn't punishment. It's the process. It's not your enemy. It's your becoming. Struggle is the path, the only path. And the ones who embrace it own their transformation. So when it hurts, when your body's shaking, when your mind is begging you to stop, you lean in, you dig deeper, you push harder. Because this is where most people quit, but not you. You didn't come this far to stop at pain. You came to grow through it. This isn't about fitness anymore. This is about who the hell you become. So suffer with pride. Struggle with purpose. And never forget you grow when you struggle. So struggle like it matters, because it does.